Sean Duffy announcing airspace closures in an unprecedented move. The FAA says it will reduce flight capacity by 10% at 40 major airports across the country. The restrictions will go into effect Friday morning, and this comes after Duffy said earlier in the week that the FAA will be forced to act if the government shutdown wasn't resolved. So joining me for more on all this, transportation reporter Sam Sweeney, along with ABC News contributor and aviation analyst John Nance. And Sam, I want to start with you. Where are travelers really going to feel the biggest impacts here?
A lot of people are going to feel a huge impact, Alex. We're talking about anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 flights, possibly more, being canceled every single day, according to the FAA and the Department of Transportation, if this shutdown doesn't end. And that's going to start as early as Friday morning. We don't know the 40 airports that are going to see the impacts. They plan to announce that tomorrow. And we also don't know the distribution. You know, which airline will take more? Will it be even? Are we talking about private jets and small, single-engine planes that are going to be, put into this number? That all hasn't been, really released or even thought of yet. The Department of Transportation was asked, if this will affect international flights, and the FAA administrator and the Department of Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy seem to be caught off guard, saying they haven't really gotten to that point yet. They're going to be meeting with the airlines to discuss the distribution and how and which flights they're going to cut. But again, the airlines are finding out about this in real time, and now they are scrambling.
Well, and John, let's talk about these staffing shortages across the airline industry for just a moment. I mean, what are some of the areas that right now are under the most pressure?
Well, under the most pressure are the air route traffic control systems and the tower. I guess just about everything. You could also say the TRACONs, which is approach and departure control, because all of these folks have been working under a situation of reduced staff. They haven't had a full complement of air traffic controllers, Alex, since 1982. That's how bad this is. And now, on top of it, you've got people without paychecks who are trying and struggling hard to come in and work without any prospect of getting things back in gear at home. And they're supposed to be 100% perfect 100% of the time. We are hurting the margins of safety on a daily basis, despite the absolute best efforts of our controllers.
Well, and Sam, the other thing, we are now squarely into November. A lot of people are going to be looking forward to holiday travel, booking those flights. I actually made my arrangements earlier this week. But this has the potential to really kind of snowball as this shutdown continues.
Alex.
Yeah, and I'm going to add to that. It is definitely going to snowball, and that's due to the government shutdown, man. These people, they really going to suffer for real. And we already seen a surge of car repossessions. We got a 20% increase on foreclosures. Bro, it's there. We're missing it. It's right there. Y'all messing the economy up with the government shutdown. And it's funny too, because I was talking to a girl at work today, and she was like, I'm glad that the government shut down. They need to do what they need to do. And I'm like, while you're glad the government shut down, there's people starving. And while you're glad the government shut down, there's other people not getting paid, and they don't even get SNAP benefits at all. You see the government employees, and my ideology on this the whole time is make sure you pay those government employees first before the SNAP recipients. And the reason I say that is because as of now, the SNAP benefits has been stopped for the last 5 to 6 days max, but the government employees have not get paid for the last 30 days plus 6 days, 5 to 6 days. You know what I'm saying? So take care of them first, and then we won't have this problem when it comes to flights. But since nobody's figuring out something, they're not paying these people. And this is now, I hope that they come up with a solution, because this is the problem I have with government controlling certain things or having access to starve people because you allow them to feed you, is hopefully a lot of people learn that they should at least have a safety fund hidden, or somehow figure out where they'll never be without something because the government is arguing. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I know some people is not going to understand that information. They're going to be like, well, we're poor and we can't get ahead. Bro, I'm not a type of person that hears an excuse and be like, oh, okay, yeah, you're exempt. No. Unless you're elderly or disabled, I don't want to hear an excuse. If you're able-bodied, I don't give a fuck. You got 10, 20, 30 kids. Find a way. You got to find a way. sell the cat, do whatever, man. But you're sitting back waiting for the government to open up. Well, they getting paid, bro. You're not. Figure it out. They eating. You're not. You know what I'm saying? They're not on government benefits. They're government employees, but they get paid. The senators, presidents, and shit. So while everybody else sits back and complain about, oh, whose fault it is, y'all need to figure out why you're allowing the government to even put you at fault. To even you're allowing the government to let you default. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, me personally, the savage take of this situation, man, stop letting people feed you, because now you're letting them starve you. Now next time, I hope everybody learns, and of course they won't. So I'm just talking in one ear and not the other. Hopefully you figure out that the government will sometimes not get what they're supposed to get. Now, those people that are government employees, the same. That means somehow they got to work to get their stuff right. Not saying leave your government position, but have a side gig on the background. I know they force you not to have side gigs, but at a certain point, if this happens and you listen to the rules, now you're stuck. Now your credit's shot. You get what I'm saying? Now your card is about to be repossessed. Y'all going on almost a month and a week. Next week is gonna be a month and 2 weeks. Your next month bills is gonna be due. You're gonna be 2 months behind on mortgage, 2 months behind on the car note, 2 months behind on the credit card. That being said, y'all need to figure out an alternative plan. We're gonna sit here and keep relying on the same people that can just shut down at any moment. Now look, this doesn't really happen too often. But when it does happen, it could affect you and you don't have no key. Most people that are probably on SNAP benefits probably don't even understand the government and how law works. Because all the nonsense I hear online, it just makes it seem like they don't. I'm like, damn, if y'all knew how it worked, you would understand. Instead of blaming this guy, it's really these people's fault. You know what I mean? But it's no fault to be given when everybody is starving. The fault is the fault of the person that allowed this to happen. Not saying it is that person's fault, but like anything that happens to me as an adult, I take full credibility for it, regardless if I did or not, because I allowed it to happen to me, right? So this situation, I'm gonna keep bugging you on this one. If you allow them to feed you, you allow them to starve you. So be prepared to be starved if they're feeding you, or be prepared to have money on the side, extra canned goods, something. You know what I'm saying? That being said, man, the flights, and sorry to get off track on that, but to get back to the flights, and it all leads back to the flights and why they delayed. Now the FCC or the FAA, it has to get involved and say, hey, man, we got to reduce the amount of airports that are sending people out, because it's bound to have an accident because we having too many call-offs. They're not functioning safely. And then you got to think about it. These people don't want to slow down with traveling. So you don't want to slow down traveling knowing that there's a shortage and there's possibly mistakes being made. When somebody said, oh, damn, my girl might be cheating to pay for the bills and I'm stressing as a pilot, I might crash them up. No, I'm good. Or we worrying about the bills and I ain't got my money coming through TSA. Let this man get through. I ain't even got time to be. You got to understand, money makes people perform better. So what happens when you're not getting nothing? And not forever. It's just foreloaded. You're going to get it later, but that's not the point. If you're working and you're not getting your money, you feel as if you don't need to be doing your job. I get that feeling. A lot of people get that feeling. A lot of people get that feeling like, man, if you're not going to pay me for this, I don't really want to do it. And you're telling that to somebody that has been without almost 3 checks now. You know what I'm saying? He going to sit back and be like, yeah, I'm good. It ain't even worth it. Let him through. Whole time, buddy got something that'll detonate. You hear me? Because your boy ain't getting paid and he just don't care. That's a problem. Pay those people, man. Figure out a way somehow and get those government employees that money, at least up to the last month, and then do what you need to do, and then focus on the SNAP recipients, because that's the thing. I feel like they're so focused on the SNAP recipients and giving money to families, but they're not focused on the good families that probably not on SNAP but are federal employees and don't get to eat. Of course, there's a smaller amount, but then again, there are still government employees, including military. It's your boy, Angelo Savage. Tell me what you think about this in the comments section. Should they reduce? They will be reducing air traffic in major airports by 10%. Do you think they should be doing that? Or do you think they should just keep it flowing high speed and because you never know, the government can speed back up? That being said, let me know that in the comments section. It's a slippery slope, I would say. It's definitely a slippery slope where you started to look at things and be like, man, is my life at risk getting on this plane right now? And this is a real question you should ask yourself due to the fact that these people might be under some type of distress, sleep deprived because he had to work a second job, you know, worrying about his family being safe, how you going to pay his bills, running almost 2 months behind. I think that's a little bit more important than the snap at the moment. You know what I mean? And the farther we go into the month, the farther I kind of change my narrative on that. That being said, tell me what you think about this in the comment section. It's your boy Angelo Savage. Don't forget to like the video for the YouTube algorithm. And don't forget to subscribe. It's your boy Savage. Let's go.